Hey everyone, it's so good to see you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We didn't get any questions, so we can just look at each other. What a great idea. And we can look at each other's auras. All right.
Hey,
So,
Mark,
yeah.
do you have your chat window open?
How do you do that? Oh, there it is. How funny it's not, let me get out of full screen. There it
Oh,
is.
no, it's
Okay,
at the
I
bottom.
can see it.
Just
Yeah,
move your mouse.
yeah. All right, good. Let me expand it now. There we go. I see chat. Oh my God, there's someone talking to me. All right. Grinding. This is from The Apprentice. To me, um, you're grinding your teeth at night. After you prayed on this, I noticed it in the daytime too. Thank me later. No, I didn't do it. God did it. Uh, that's why I always say God does it, not me. Takes the blame. Um, and now it has diminished, but it is still going on at night. Okay, good. Well, it's not good that you're having it happen, but um, uh, one thing what comes to mind most right now is I think that part of it has to be for your situation. There's a tension in there, whether it be structural or through worry. And you have the bite guard, I know that. So what I'll do is work with this again, because I think yours is muscular reshaping the jaw, and it's not necessarily tension. You're not too much of a worrier, in my understanding. So it might be muscular for you. With the muscles, I do not have a guard. It was a long time ago, and I chewed it up. All right. Um, well, I think a guard, having a night guard is not productive, personally, because you're still going to chew that thing. And because the tension is still there, it just softens the crunch. That's all the night guard does. And it stops a little more wear from the teeth. That's my perspective of night guards. It doesn't heal anything. So what I want to do is I want to work with the musculature that holds the jaw. Your jaw is, in my perspective, off. I don't know which way, but it's off. And have you had that as a diagnosis? Please let me know, apprentice, if you had that as a diagnosis. All right. And so, all right, in the meantime, a friend who was a chiropractor said yes, but otherwise not. And, all kinds of things can cause that. Having a lot of extensive teeth work can cause the jaw muscles to go off. Having an injury can cause the jaw's muscles to go off. And I'm just not tuning in to know exactly right now what's causing that. Even just hitting your head, that can create a whole musculature change in there. So in any case, uh, and discrepancies even in the hearing, Lisa, that would cause favor if it was none of the other things. So it would cause favor of the positioning, listening to something and not being able to hear or whatever, apprentice. So in any case, what I'd like to do is work with you, and in the working with you, I'm going to put my hands on your jaw, and let's see if we can help that in some way to have some relief. And what I'd like you to do is answer me and tell me if you do sense something shifting or changing in there. So please do keep me updated, and I'm going to do it now, hon. And I actually feel it locked on your right side. And if you were to push in right where the jaw and the cheekbone up here are, in between there, um, I'm fairly certain that it might be tender on you because I feel it here. What I'm actually doing in order to feel it here, there's a little explanation. I'm scanning, and when I'm scanning, the healing moves through. If y'all ever get a chance, take this next class coming up. And if anyone needs help on it, let me know, or let Lynn know, and I'll be able to help you with some of it. There, I just felt a little shift. So I have to stop banging my head against the wall. Yeah, no, keep that up, Elise. I mean, Apprentice. Keep that up. Send me a video. All right.
Mark, when you're healing, we can hear that squeal still.
Isn't that something? Does everyone hear the squeal?
That's why I mute myself. Thank you.
Someone the other day I was working with, they said there was a loud squeal when I worked with them, and they don't have it any other time in their life. And a lot of people are starting to experience that now, and I don't know why. I'm not doing anything purposely, honest to God.
But the last circle I was in, everybody heard it every time.
Yes. Yeah.
Very interesting. 5G.
Yeah, this is the 7th G. So, they haven't, science hasn't come up to it yet, electronics, but they're getting there. And so, and by then they'll know how to get rid of the squeal. All right. So you have to stop banging your head, yes, or no, whatever. And started tenderness, and when you were working on it, also popped good. Yes, you hear the squeal. That's awesome. So whole spine shifts when you worked on it. All right, I'm going to do it one more time, hon. And tell me how the tenderness is now. If you can, please, I appreciate it. All right, well, I'll wait for her answer. Not tender, feel lopsided, unfamiliar. It's unfamiliar because it's different now. And this might be more normalized for your body than what you were experiencing. So I'm most curious over the next few days how it is. And you might go through what you think are little mishaps with it, but don't worry about that. Just know it's changing, and that's all that matters. My pleasure. My pleasure. Anyone ask any questions about anything I can try to answer? Please feel free. Feel free. This is a healing circle tonight. And Penny, any questions, hon? Turn on your mic. Turn on your mic.
No, I don't have a question. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes it's going to happen. Sometimes, no problem. Samantha, any questions? Or Sue? Or even Sharonda? Or Michelle? Or Lynn?
Mark, I was just wondering, like, what your thoughts are with what's going on with the virus.
What part?
Just, you know, in the future, what's going to happen? How long is it going to be like this?
My personal perspective, and I know nothing medically. I know nothing scientifically. Honest to God, I don't. My own personal perspective that it's going to last for several years, but it'll be under control. And,
Okay.
you know, sooner than that.
Okay. I was just curious because we went back to school this week, you know, so I got to teach the kids in person this week. And there's a lot of, you know, depression in the kids even. And
Sure.
where I work, there's a lot of older people, and they've kind of expressed how depressed they are and that they've had enough.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it was just very sad.
Oh, yeah. So what humanity's doing is learning, well, it's readaptation.
Okay.
And it's not deniable because it's there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and no one's unsubject to it unless, you know, you carry on, you know, a certain way of being without the challenging of that divinity or the godliness or, you know, whatever. So, but, you know, we can take care of ourselves and, you know, be less subject to things as well, which is another thing. So,
Yeah.
all right. Good, good, good. Nini, how you doing, my dear friend? I haven't had you around for ever. Can you hear me? All right. Go on to the next one. Yes, please, Sharonda.
Hi, good to be with you.
You
So
too.
you-
Thanks for being here again.
Thank you. You said something about how people would be dealing with the virus, but your language was really not specific. I wondered if you would be willing to say more, and if you don't, I'm fine with that.
In what way did I say it? Do you remember?
About people dealing with it. I don't know how you said it, but it was very vague to me.
We're going to be dealing with it for a long, long time. It's going to be a part of medical science on a regular basis for a long time. And, but then it'll go through its in and outs. And it's the way people deal with it that, you know, have the potential to exacerbate the symptomology and or the illness of it. And so
How they deal with it with their thoughts, or how they're dealing with it in the physical.
both.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, enough said.
Yeah.
I will say this. I was with you once, maybe it was last year, at
Really?
Interfaith. Yeah, at
Oh,
Interfaith.
yes, 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 yes.
It was a good sized group. But I had a few moments with you, or a few minutes where there was a one-on-one healing. And I showed up tonight. I was kind of like, oh, do I come or not? But my sense was come, because I'm in the process. Process is a funny word, but I'm wanting to receive a healing.
Okay.
So if that's something I can receive help
Yes.
from you with, I would like that. I noticed your recording. You don't have to turn anything off, but in my personal life or in my life, I started asking for prayers and this and that, and then it's like, stop it. I was just stopping putting anything out there so that people would have a thought about me being whatever. Now I'm being vague. Yeah, I didn't want people having thoughts about, oh, Sharonda's got this going on.
Now, this is private. No, it's not private.
It's
Is
being
it?
recorded,
Yeah.
and I'm
But-
putting it out there already to this.
Yeah, but
group.
we also record the private events, so just the people that attend will hear it. But this is not a private one. This in the gathering.
But you know, you get the point of what I'm saying.
So wait a second now. What are you suggesting that Do you mind if I work with you, or do you want to do it just, I don't know how?
So let me say this. Yeah, I would like your work with me, and the focus would be my uterus and perhaps my abdomen. But
Okay.
I'm looking for healing with my uterus,
Okay,
with whatever's going on there. Thank you.
sure. Tell me if you feel something about 3 inches above your the bone down there, the pubic bone.
The pubic bone?
Yeah.
Wait, I got a touching figure 3 inches. Do I feel
About 2 or 3 inches, approximately.
In this moment, I'm not aware of any sensing there.
All right. Just, without trying to figure out or think about it or anything else, just have your imagination focus on that area without anything.
Okay.
Right there. It'll be a real subtle sense or dramatic. Right there a little bit. You know what it's like? It's almost like the angelics. They're holding you. And while they're holding you, there's like a healing that's happening.
Mm.
And they're in that holding you, there's a lot of love that they're expressing, which is a part of the healing that's happening.
Mhm.
And there may be 2 or 3 angelics. That was my perception of
Thank
what
you.
had happened in there as I observed it as well. So let's see if that doesn't help you in some way or another.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. And what about your right below your neck area in that big prominent bone up here? A little tender there? Right on your spine.
Below my cervical?
I don't know what cervical is.
That's the neck, yeah.
Yeah, right at the prominent bone there, where from your head to your shoulders, in between there is that big bone, the prominent bone.
As I touch it and palpate it, it's kind of tender.
Yes, okay, that's what I was getting at. So I'm going to also work on that. If you can just lay your hand flat on that, just for a moment. Now take your hand down, move around a little bit, and put your hand back on there and tell me if it's as tender. Still a little bit, but as tender as it was.
I think it's shifted some.
How
I mean,
so?
I'm using my fingers and I'm kind of going like this.
I know, but if you just push in one
Just-
place without palpating all over,
Yeah.
and is it as tender as it was, hon? You're palpating all over the place.
I'm not sure. There's one area that seems kind of tender still.
Okay, all right,
But when you first asked me, my first impression was like, yeah, not so much.
all right. All right, let's see what happens with that, if there's a change then, and
Thank you.
it becomes more functional in itself. where it's not going to be leading into something in the potential future,
Gotcha.
and or get more exacerbated in itself.
Wonderful,
Awesome.
thank you.
All right, one last thing. I'm going to put my hands on your head.
Okay.
And also, have you been thinking about having a hearing problem?
I'm not sure, I don't know.
And do you remember having that thought in your mind recently, past few days?
Not in the past few days.
When?
There are situations where I think I'm not hearing things that other people are maybe really easily hearing.
Okay.
But I also, I'm sorry, but people don't enunciate, they don't project, they talk a mile a minute. It's like, but there's some recognition with what you're saying.
All right. Cool. Let's see what happens with all this stuff.
Thank
All
you.
right. My dear friend Penny, how are you? How's your rib? Can't hear you. I'm sorry.
My ribs are really, really good.
Good.
I'm having trouble with my pelvis again.
Oh,
I'm having some symptoms that tell me that there's some hairline fractures again. So, immediately my mind started running scared. I don't want to do 5 months more of not doing anything. I don't want to sit down for 5 months waiting for them to heal
I
or
understand.
use a walker again,
Oh, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
So my pelvis,
Let's see if we can help you to heal here.
okay.
Put your hands on one hand on one side, the other hand on the other side
Okay.
of your pelvic area.
Okay. Dear God, to this healing.
And try to imagine my hands on top, but the energetic moving through, the life, the dance of life, the breath of God moving through and going into the pelvic area.
Okay.
Did you just sense something there, hon?
What?
Did you just sense something there?
I think I did. All of a sudden I just went, ooh. But I didn't really feel it,
Yeah,
in my
okay.
hands, but I, something released.
All right, good.
Yeah.
And hopefully what that will do is bring like the bone material together, more stronger, more knitted together.
Great.
And so let's see
Great.
what happens. One more little thing I'm going to do there.
Okay.
There. All right. Now, is there any particular time that, or a situation in your body when you're moving that it hurts the most, or did hurt? the most?
Well, actually sleeping, I can't sleep lying down. It
Okay.
puts too much pressure and then I get pain, especially in my right side. But
Okay. Yeah.
so luckily we have a lounge thing in our couch, and so I can do that.
Yes.
But,
All right.
but that's when it's, that's, sometimes it's been hard to sleep.
Okay. All right. So let's see if there's any sleep tonight.
Okay.
Pray so. Pray so. Samantha, my dear. Anything
Hi,
in
Mark.
particular? Hi.
Yes. Speaking of sleep, I've been having some trouble not going to sleep. I'm usually really tired and I can go to bed at 9 p.m. and fall asleep right away. It's the getting up, and it's always at between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. And, sometimes I'll be up for an hour, even an hour and a half. And it's just so frustrating because the more I try to sleep, the longer I'm awake, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I sleep an average of 2 to 5 hours a night.
Wow.
And I'm usually up until 3 or 4 in the morning, working and stuff like that, and doing things. But
And you can function. You can function?
yeah, I have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And doing this for years. But years ago, I used to sleep just for 2 hours. And
Wow.
but there was an excitement that I couldn't wait to get up.
Yeah.
And so I would go to bed at maybe 3 or 4 and wake up at 6 or 5:30. And then I'd start my whole day over again. But back then, there was a joy in getting up. I pictured myself getting up the next day super, super excited.
Okay.
And that's what enabled me to go through the day, and still today at times.
Yeah.
And so the idea is to, sometimes when I can't go to sleep and I really have to,
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask the angels
Okay.
to help me to go to sleep. And usually within a couple minutes instead of a couple hours,
Mhm.
they'll, help me.
Okay.
I usually don't purposely call on the angels for much or anything except for once in a great while.
Yeah.
And so when I call on them, I just automatically know that they have something that will help me.
Yeah.
So
I wish I could function on little sleep. I'm just exhausted, especially working with kids. I've got to be, at 110% energy level.
sure.
I would love to be able to just sleep a few hours and still be able to function. I could get more done, but
Yeah.
that's not the case. I
I
just feel
understand.
frustrated at 3 a.m. just trying to go to sleep.
Sure. So if you do what I suggested, you might notice a difference in there. And
Okay.
before you go to sleep, do you watch television?
Yeah.
That's the stimulant for the neurons.
Okay.
Samantha, you're a lovely lady. I want to say change the channel in your mind.
Okay.
It's something a pediatrician said to my daughter when she was 2 years old, because we understand a remote control and we're used to having that power. So give that to yourself.
Okay. Thanks.
So what you want to do is not have that television on and do what we suggested. You'll see a huge difference.
Okay.
And like Michelle said, changing the channel in your mind, not as a TV, but say going out into the universe
Okay.
and discovering. That'd be a lovely thing to do. I might even try that someday,
Mhm.
just for the heck of it. Sue, my dear friend, Sue Gray, talk to me. Turn on your mic, hon.
Well, do you get any idea of what is going on with my neck and or hand? It's that neck-induced hand business again.
Yeah, it's a pattern. It's a fixation, and it's an established pattern. Somehow you're contributing to it. I don't know how. And do you have an idea?
Well, because I'm like am I losing some, am I losing feeling in those fingers? So I am fixated, yes.
Yes. And as you see, as we become free in ourselves, the body response will react to that too. And I think it's much easier. See, we're learning the hard way to live through our anxiety, worry, and fear. The easier way is to say, okay, boss, I'm leaving this up to you in life, for my life of things. Then we find ourselves not having to deal with so much. And sure, you know, everyone is unique and everyone is going to have different body situations as their bodies get more mature. And look,
Nice
I was
way
being
of
nice.
putting it. Thank you, Mike.
And so the idea, the maturity is really the wisdom, but we don't have to go through a lot of the hell that the body is deteriorating at. And so the for you, you know, it's getting, it's recognizing the fixation and saying, what is this? You know, hey, I see you. And go and try to imagine, the deeper you go inside yourself, you'll imagine like there's a form to the consciousness or the mind of that fixation. It'll be like a globule or spiky or something that it'll show representation of. And as you face it, say, how do you serve me? Just ask it. How do you serve me? And wait for an answer. And the other day I was working with someone, I had a similar situation with them. And all of a sudden they burst out laughing. And I said, what? And they said, it just told me. I said, what did it say? And it said, I don't.
I like it because I've thought, what is this literal pain in my neck? Am I brewing up a pain in my neck?
It's the fixation.
Is there something I can't handle? You know,
The
are these
fixation,
things?
yes. The fixation takes form in our bodies because we've had it for a lot longer than, you know, we can remember back to.
So you think this is a long-term thing that's just manifesting?
Oh, it is. It is. It goes way back to maybe the age of 27.
Ooh. Well, I had to think on that too.
Yes, and it was concerns, it was anxiety at that time. And it had to do with social acceptance in some way. I don't know if you can relate to that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I was probably heavily into my drinking career in those years too.
You rock.
Lots was going on in those years.
Been there, done that.
So it's more of a mental thing manifesting as a physical thing.
It's a mental manifestation. It's an ideological manifestation. Being subject to the environment around you. And that's what happens. Versus being objective and observant. You're subject or objective.
So a part of this that would be useful for me would be to learn to be more detached as well.
Yes, and when you're detached, you're becoming indifferent, but the indifference isn't cold. It's learning to recognize yourself. You'll find that happening. And there's really nothing to work out in life. Everyone says, oh, you got to work this out, and you can work it out for the rest of your life. And the whole idea is just to learn to watch yourself, observe yourself. Then you become free to be yourself. as you
Witnessing.
as you're witnessing. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Then you see all these other dynamics vanish, disappear, or deteriorate. So let me work a little bit with that. And what I'll do is I'll go into the mind of that. I can go into the mind of that consciousness. And let's see what happens. I just saw you going.
I heard the squeal.
So if there's no squeal, nothing's happening? What is this?
No, I heard it. I heard it.
There we go. All right. My honor, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Michelle, my dear friend.
Bless you, whoever that was.
Bless you.
That's
Yes.
my husband sneezing in the background. He can't help himself. I'll
That's
mute
awesome.
it.
Sorry about that. I'm here for Aspen. The kids wanted to say hi to Penny tonight, so they both came and were gone, I guess. But
Hi,
I thought,
Penny.
I thought she might hang around. For a kid that just turned 3, she's the littlest in the house. And if she wants something, she becomes 6 feet tall and raises the decibel level in her throat that you think she's going to pop a vein. And then you look back at her and she's making baby sounds like I didn't really do that. And I'm like, that is not okay. It's alarming to me to hear. And I wonder, is she just reacting to the vibe of everybody having to be in the house for 6 months working from home? Is that it? Or does she have other problems?
No, I don't think that's a problem, really. Not that I
And who
want to
doesn't
do
live
that,
with children?
but so if I start doing, maybe that's the scream you're hearing from the computer. But
Doesn't touch it.
no, but I don't think it's a problem. My perception is that she's developing and growing, and it's that simple. And she's just experimenting and expressing.
I'm thinking bipolar at 3. I don't know. Like, oh
No,
my God.
no, get that out. Get that out.
It's like, oh my God. But it doesn't last 2 minutes. It doesn't last long enough for everybody in the house.
Right.
It's just her wanting to get her point across in case you weren't listening.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. So the idea is, also getting attention, which is added to it, and that's fine, And so it's the idea of equal respect and letting her know that, okay, you had your time, wait for a moment, and if she doesn't respond and does that, then I think ideally what I might do is go ahead and do your thing. I'm busy here for a moment. I asked you to respect what we're doing for a moment and then go back to her. And if she doesn't respect it, let her continue on and she'll finally know, because what she's doing also is getting reaction. But she's also developing her vocal cords. She's developing the responses and all these
She'll
other
sing
things.
someday, but
Does that make sense though?
sure. The 2 moms are in the same great room with little pods in their ears, and they're working from home, and they only have, there's certain times a day that they have to be on the computer, but they don't go hide. They're out there so the kids can be on their iPad or something. And so if she wants something, that's the way she does it. And
Right.
For somebody downstairs with 2 doors closed, I still hear
Yeah.
shrieking.
Yeah, and that's fine,
I
And
need my own little things.
but Michelle, I'm saying though that it's also the development of the vocal cords And I know of someone when they were real little, if she didn't get her attention, people's attentions around her, even walking down the street, people looking at her. This little girl, she would just, her whole body functioning would cease and she would drop down like she just died and she would fall to the ground. And and then everyone would run up to her and she just get up and go keep on walking, you know. And but that's the way it was, like she was having some neurological problem where all function ceased. And and that's what she did even at home, you know. And
Well,
so
then if we're not worried about Aspen, maybe you could just help me cope with all this. My hearing is a little extra sensitive lately.
that's good.
Maybe.
Loud but good.
Feels like your fingers are under my scalp. It's working.
Enjoy.
Was that a spiritual facelift? Thank you, Mark.
I don't do facelifts and I don't do massages.
That's what you think. Thank you. Thank
Sure, my pleasure. My pleasure. So, apprentice, please, if you can tell me if there's any change or you notice anything different in the feeling of your jaw, please, or if you push in on here, if it's any different in right in where the jaw and the cheekbone come together. If you can express that. And Nini, hi, that's okay. Is there anything you would like me to work with? Please express, so type it out, or you can speak if you can onto that. Let me know, and I'll work with someone else in the meet. Oh, there we go. The apprentice, yes, just the last few minutes. Lower right jaw feels like it's floating. Yay! God bless you. God bless you. All right, Nini, do you mind if you're okay? So, do you mind if I ask a blessing on you? I'll just assume yes. I think it's really important also to, you know yourself, but it's also important to get to know yourself even a little bit deeper now in your life. You come to that time in your life. We'll just keep it like that. Keep it like that. Let me see here. If Lynn is here, please let me know if there's anything. There, hey. Anything in particular, my dear?
No, thanks.
All right. All right. All right. Is there anyone that I didn't work with? Really? I thought there was someone for some reason. This is from a question mark. I don't remember you speaking about angels until twice today. Usually it's the old man or woman upstairs. Yes. Yeah. I know they have a part in the divinity. They have a function, and the angelics are there for us. We're not there for them, and they respond to us. It's really important. They don't have the free will or the consciousness of the free will that we have. They're there to serve. That's their purpose, and that's their function. I don't know what else you want me to say. So, and so when we call upon them, if we're really serious in calling upon them, there'll be a response. Seen it happen many a time with many people, and my own experience was many a time. So, any other questions I can try to answer? I know this isn't the gathering, and strictly for healing, but we've been jabbing anyway, so what's the heck? And Sharonda, please, can you tell me if there's any different sense in your body, or you notice anything different yet? And please feel free to be candid.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure that I feel anything different, but I feel different. I mean, I'm not saying physically. And for me, you disclosing, you saying that there's angels working with me, I find that very comforting. I'll pray to Holy Spirit. I'll call upon God, Jesus.
Sure.
But I don't call upon the angels necessarily. And it's such a wonderful, I feel very loved. I feel very cared for.
Awesome.
In that with the angels. And it's such a powerful reminder that when we are in prayer or we're seeking help, for me, I guess I should speak for me, I'm not always aware of the levels of help that shows up.
Whoever you pray to, or whatever you pray to, God or Jesus or Mary or the
Not
angels or whoever, stay focused on them and don't go scattered into jumping from source to source to source to source. Stay focused.
On whom? On what?
Whichever you choose to pray to.
I'm praying in the way I pray.
Whatever.
Sometimes
That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
But what I'm suggesting is stay focused on one. If you try that out, say if you want to work with the angelics, remember that they're there for you. You're not there for them. And stay focused on them. And then, as you do stay focused, that will set something in motion.
I'm resisting you. So let me be with what you're saying and ponder it. Because
Sure.
I'll pray to Holy Spirit, I'll pray to God, Mother, Father, God. I've started with Jesus Christ. I can't believe I'm doing that. But, new influence.
Sure.
And I'm kind of like, okay, so now the angels are in there. That's part of the response. So I guess I'm willing to be aware of the angels.
Yeah, take baby steps into it. Don't jump right into it.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah,
What you might want to try, anyone can try this, is all right, Mark talked about this, angels. And so, you know, show me some form of reality. This is what I would like to, you know, accomplish or fulfill. I need you to help me to do that.
so I tend to go to God.
All right, do that then.
Let me see what changes, because you're not saying this for naught. Yeah,
Yeah, take baby steps. Don't dive or delve into it wholeheartly.
no, I
And
won't.
I'm teaching you another way you have to do, you know,
Right.
or just try little baby steps, see if it's really real. You know, because I know that even Jesus called upon the angels for help.
Right. No,
Yes.
I'm not this way with the angels, but I tend to go to these other,
That's fine. Whatever you choose.
yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
You rock. I appreciate you.
Uh,
Please, any final questions or anything? Anyone? Let's see. Did she write? Mark, you have described spirit as that which is expressed through us, or something like that. Are the angels something different to pray to? They're a form that you can pray to. They're available to us to aid us, to assist us. That's their purpose. That's their function. Spirit, in my understanding and experience, is what activity moves through, what life moves through. Just as I mentioned earlier today, in a class, mini class, you know, there used to be the expression, God moved, or excuse me, well, this is one thing that's in the Bible, that God moved across the face of the waters and brought life. The Spirit was bringing life. And that's what it does. It brings life. And, or people back in the 1800s, there was the Spirit of 76. It brought life. There was a union of people that were all participating in that life. The Spirit brought it. So there's an activity of life in the Spirit. That's what it does. That's my experience and my understanding, my teaching. So that's what I have to say about that, apprentice. All right. And any other questions before we boogie here? Anything I can?
I have a quick question. Why is this showing 16 chats? Are there unread chat messages, or what's the significance of that, Mark? Or who would know?
Well, number 8 is God, is the sign of God. And so there's 2 gods here.
Wait.
No.
I,
What I
Wait.
think.
Go ahead,
What-
mess with me. Mess with me.
Go ahead, Lynn.
are you talking about the chat window at the bottom or the chat icon at the bottom?
I see the chat icon with the number 16.
Yeah, so it just letting you know that there are 16 messages that you have not read.
That's what it looks like. And that's for this call.
That's correct.
So is he not going to read those?
I
Oh, no,
have.
he has already.
Oh,
just-
I thought,
You haven't.
oh,
It's like-
say that. So that's for me.
Most of these messages were sent to everyone, so it's just a matter of being in the know of what's going on in the chat window.
So have you guys all been reading the chats? I've seen some flash open, but
Yeah, so if you click on that icon with your mouse, you'll
Yeah.
be able to see the chat window.
okay, I've seen that before on other calls.
There you go.
And I've seen it, okay, I won't make a joke. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So I could be on this call with that chat window open.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Correct.
yeah, duh, okay. Thanks, I'm glad I
Well,
asked.
actually, it's a really good question. And the main reason for that window a lot of times is to be able to ask questions while Mark is talking to someone else, so that you're getting your question out there before you forget, but
Okay.
it's also not interrupting the current.
Thank you, Lynn.
She's in Canada, Lynn?
Okay.
and she's good. I guess Canadians know this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know it until she told me.
I've always been very techy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
All right.
something in me.
Any
Oh,
other?
quick meditation.
Oh, that's right. We got to do a little meditation. That's awesome.
We,
For everyone,
we don't have to, but it'd be nice.
or we can have questions instead. All right. I want you to just sit back for a moment and just relax. And no one's going to know what's going inside your head. No one. And just close your eyes for a moment. And try to imagine what an angelic would be like standing next to you and just waiting or loving you. Just imagine. It's not a spirit. It's an angelic. I know some angelics are funnier than anything. Others are real serious. What would be the one that's near you the most like? What would you imagine to image in action? I'm just waiting for you. All right, slowly and gently open up your eyes. Anyone get any immediate images through their imagination, what one might be like for them? Chicken livers. Michelle, please.
Well, the image I got, and it felt really good, was somebody like 18 feet tall next to me. And it felt as good as the first person I ever really loved that was, you know, a teenager. So it was like unconditional love and supreme support. But the vision was somebody in traditional white gown, and I couldn't even see their wings. All I can tell you, it was very tall and very supportive and loving.
Cool.
That's what I saw.
I remember, please, Penny.
Well, I envision the angels like translucent and about 14 feet tall.
Mine's bigger than yours.
But beautifully, beautifully colored. And they were just standing there, literally just waiting, just being by my side.
Awesome.
And they were etheric. They're beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
The
that's
first time I ever saw angelics, I had, and I was telling this, I think I mentioned the story earlier where I was telling my buddy or someone the other day, was that I had worked with someone in healing. And this is when I was first vowed, and I wasn't supposed to work with anything publicly, so I never let anyone know my name after I worked with them, or where I was, or whatever. Didn't want any contact with them, because if my teachers found out, that they yell at me and kick me out or whatever, and so for being disobedient. And so I worked with someone on the street, and then I realized after I'd worked with them, I did it incorrectly. I should have done it another way. And so all that day, going into evening hours, I was feeling horrible, and so I went into the chapel area of the order house, and I kneeled and I said, "Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I did this wrong, thinking that there was only one way to do it and it had to be exactly that way in a box. And so then all of a sudden, I was shown a picture in my head, and I actually felt the presence behind me as well, which was really strong, but I didn't want to turn around and look at it. And so I closed my eyes and tried to imagine what it was, and I was shown 3 angels, and they were behind me. And they were the funkiest looking angels I had ever seen in my life. I mean, they looked like they were sloppy. And one was carrying a mop, the other one was carrying a broom, the other one was carrying a dustpan. And in my head, I'm saying, "Who are you?" And a voice told me, "They're your spiritual cleanup crew, so don't worry about anything." And so ever since then, I've never worried about anything. And I get to see them once in a while. And now, I mean, they were just slubs, and schlubs.
I'm
And
going to request that. The spiritual cleanup crew. I'm going to.
Ask what they look like to you. They may be totally different.
Who couldn't use that?
They were my spiritual cleanup crew. And I just burst out laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And they just stood there just waiting for me to make a mistake, So,
I love it.
Maybe they should be stand-up angels. George Carlin.
they didn't have a humor or anything. Nothing. There's another one that has a total humor with me ever since day one I started teaching back 25, 30 years ago. And they just kept throwing jokes at me. And that I never heard of either. And I'd be bursting out in the middle of class, and people would say, "What are you laughing at?" And I start telling all these jokes that they told me, or this particular one told me, and they would burst out laughing, all these people. And so, whatever. All right, everyone. I'm so grateful that you were here tonight, and then we got to chat a little bit, and I got to work with you. And please do keep me updated on how you're feeling and what changes you might notice in your life. That's what's important. Nina, blessings to you, Anini, and anything. If anyone wants an appointment, let me know, whatever. And my pleasure, Nini. And God bless you, and thanks. And this will be posted later.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Bye.